We turn our attention now to the Development Bank of Southern Africa as it has recorded another year of profits and growth. The entity has announced a 5.2 billion rand profit, which is the highest recorded to date. CEO Boitumelo Mosako joins us now. Thank you so much for your time. It is very important for the DBSA to have a healthy balance sheet. What does it mean for the operations of a developmental entity such as yourselves?
Thank you, Tumisang. Good morning to you and your listeners. What does it mean? As a development finance institution, it is imperative for us to remain financially sustainable. When we are financially sustainable, that means we can then drive more, infrastructure development and thus enabling economic growth. So the strength of DBSA is imperative to the economic growth of our country in the region.
Absolutely, and the near term is also going to be quite vital. How do you then sustain and capitalize on the growth in profits that you've seen?
Yeah, because what we do is we leverage the equity that we receive from our shareholder, that is the National Treasury, including the profits that we make. So we leverage our equity to raise funds in the capital markets and also from other multilateral development banks. So when you and institutional investors as well. So when we have a strong, resilient balance sheet, and evidenced as well is our institutional strength, our strength in governance. That puts us in a really, good state to really be a place of choice for investors. So when you actually look at the amount of, the investor universe that we have, and also, the willingness of investors to work with DBSA, and that is, really, really evidence of the great work that we continue to do, which is development impact in a financially sustainable manner.
Speaking of investment, are there plans in the pipeline of growing your investor community, especially with the ongoing drive by the national presidency of an investment climate in South Africa that needs to be cultivated?
Yes, of course. When you look at the current economic environment, Tumisang, we're looking at actually accelerating infrastructure development through the various initiatives within the bank. Firstly, we have an energy generation program, self-generation, where we actually fund entities and also municipalities that are looking to, generate their own energies. Secondly, we have a water infrastructure program that we have developed together with our Department of Water Sanitation. We have recently received funding to the tune of $235 million from the GEF to actually support that specific program. We believe that a programmatic approach to infrastructure development is key, so that we then, we then catalyze and enable infrastructure in the various sectors that we participate in.
Given the current precarious economic climate across the globe, are there any challenges that face the DBSA that may impede on the work that you do?
I think when you look at, obviously, there are, economic challenges that we are all aware of. But as a development finance institution, our role is to play a counter-cyclical role, so that, when these challenges are then happening, we then have to ensure that as a DFI, we are actively involved in, creating project pipeline through our project preparation division, and as I had mentioned, the various programs that we are undertaking as well. And also within the challenges, there's opportunities as well. There's opportunities in participating in a green growth economy as well. And our role is to ensure that we create that platform, drive projects in that space that will ensure that there's, infrastructure, acceleration, and also inclusivity as well.
Lastly, the DBSA recently marked 40 years of existence. Great results, but there's been criticism leveled around the work of the Developmental Bank of Southern Africa. What's to be said about the historic purpose of this entity?
I guess it's, those who criticize us are those who don't know us. And really know what we do. We are definitely celebrating 40 years of progress. When you look at our balance sheet, our balance sheet is a strong one, currently sitting at over 108 billion. Just this year alone, I'm not talking of the past few years, just this year alone, we've had disbursements of 13.7 billion. We have put infrastructure on the ground, infrastructure implementation of 4.8 billion. We have unlocked infrastructure to the value of 2.1 billion. So just looking at the capital formation activities of the DBSA, just in 1 year, you look into the tune of over 20 billion. If I had to start with the last, 10 years, then we are really going to the hundreds of billions. And if I go to 40, then, the numbers can be really, really, really big. So we have played a really critical role as a development finance institution in implementing infrastructure, in planning infrastructure, in preparing infrastructure, and including funding of infrastructure as well. We play a critical role in the various network sectors, Tumisang, in energy, in transport, in water, in digital infrastructure as well, in education and in health as well. So we continue as a development finance institution to be relevant, and we will continue to do that going forward.
All the best, and thank you so much for your time. Boitumelo Mosako is the CEO at the DBSA.